There was a tragedy. It's almost spectacular, Tom. Some might say.
Tragedy indeed, Tom.
Occurred in my front yard. Naked outside. Halloween decoration. Permanently erased. From the On Target Digital Marketing Podcasting Studios in sunny Orlando, Florida, it's the T Squared Tech Talk Podcast with Tom Jellick and Tom Craig. It's a Friday, and it's a T Squared Tech Talk Podcast Spectacular Edition. I'm Tom Jellick. I'm joined with
Tom Craig here,
Tom?
and spectacular it is.
It's almost spooktacular, Tom, some might say.
We're getting close.
We're getting very close, and there's an interesting weather phenomena that has taken place here in Florida.
Yeah, the 1-2 hour north that unfortunately hit the panhandle. Or
That was ugly. That was ugly. But here's what's happening. There is what we call a cold front moving its happy ass down into Florida.
Does not compute.
Well, here's what it does. It lowers the temperature by 2 degrees.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, it's been ridiculously hot this whole summer, and it's fall now, and it doesn't really feel like fall here, does it, Tom?
No, it doesn't, but I'll tell you, with that 2 degree change in climate, that my air conditioning will be turned off.
Well, I'm going to leave you with the vision, Tom. I mean, It's going to be so chilly in the morning, 68 degrees, that I might sleep naked outside on the front yard.
See, and that was just a vision that neither myself nor the in-laws needed, Tom.
Or Keegan.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's we sometimes forget about Keegan in the sound booth there.
He's
but you're
here.
right. Keegan,
Slamming down some vodka
if you need
today.
the name of my psychiatrist to have that eliminated from your memory,
Permanently
you just let me
erased
know.
from the banks.
Does a great job.
But yeah, nice and chilly. I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm going to get up at the butt crack of dawn, no pun intended, and go for a jog.
Wow. Well, now that is you're above and beyond on that one, Tom.
It'll be nice. I am looking forward to it.
I like YouTubing that.
My jog or
Morning
naked
jog
on the front yard?
Morning jog. Just put it on the screen, get a nice little view of what the neighborhood might look like there without leaving the comfort of my own home.
Speaking of the neighborhood, Tom,
Yeah.
I was discussing this with you prior to the show. There was a tragedy that occurred in my front yard.
Tragedy indeed, Tom.
I'm out the other morning minding my own, as I do, Tom,
That's, yeah.
getting into my truck when I glanced over at my
Halloween decorations.
And
Yeah, well, you know, I put those up for my daughter. She was super excited, and it's been uber spooky at the Jellick residence. So I look over, and I had an extension cord that ran into the front planter. So it kind of went over the sidewalk.
okay, I'm following.
Right? It's gone. And I'm like, what the hell? Where does an extension
Not
cord go?
misplaced, not
No.
got caught in the lawnmower blade, but gone.
I'm looking everywhere, Tom. I'm pulling my hair out. I'm not naked, thank God.
Thank
I'm
God.
running around the yard, not naked, looking around. I can't find it. It's gone.
Well, apparently your display wasn't spooky enough.
Clearly.
Yeah, because it didn't spook away the burglars.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be some spooking.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I think the next Halloween display on the Jellick residence is probably going to have some Terminator 2 looking eyes there, but those are going to be cameras.
Yes, and me.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way you settle it.
I'm
A little
waiting
bit of-
for you.
A little bit of green makeup, couple bolts on the neck, Tom,
Yeah,
standing out in the front yard there.
I'm all about it.
I think that's a great idea.
But there's one thing I can't stand, Tom. It's thieves.
Oh, I know. I know that very well.
And that's a great segue into our show today, Tom. We're
Oh,
getting
well.
really good at these. You notice that? The segues?
You know, golden, again, is the best description I can come up with.
They
Not
are
just
golden.
good, but golden.
They are golden.
They are.
Damn it. I'm proud of them.
I tell you. So with that segue
Yeah.
into security.
Well-
but I'm still stuck. I got to tell you, I'm still stuck on the vision of you as Frankenstein out in the front yard.
You're still thinking about me naked sleeping in the front yard. That's what's really happening.
You know,
It's
I'd
okay
go
to
with
talk about it,
Dracula
Tom.
before.
I mean, listen, I'm not Adonis. I'm not a supermodel, but hey, I'm just saying, might be a little chilly out.
Yeah, well, bring on the drone and the webcam, Keegan, because we're going to have to post this one.
Yeah, that could be borderline. Never mind. Okay, so moving right along, back to security, Tom. There are some shiny new devices that are making their way to our homes just in time for the fat man to come down the chimney.
That's right. Those shiny devices and Christmas, you know, it's all distracting.
It can be.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it's these gadgets that you just have to have, and look how shiny they are.
Yep, and quickly, we want to be the first one on the block on the bleeding edge, if you will, not just the cutting edge, but on the bleeding edge of technology.
We got to keep up with the Joneses, if we're being honest.
If not one step ahead.
Right, or the Smiths.
Exactly. Two steps ahead for them.
But not those other people down the road because they're jackasses, and I think they stole my extension cord.
Well, we're going to touch on that later with some tips on how we can take care of those people.
We'll take care of them, Tom.
Oh, they're taken care of indeed.
So, yes. Sorry about that. So, a little bit of frog in the throat today, Tom.
Yeah.
So, Facebook came out with a shiny new object, and they call it the Facebook, which I already forgot the name of it. We are off to a stellar start today, Tom.
Well, that's how easy it is to forget Facebook things. But if you look in your inbox, Tom, odds are you've got a few emails reminding you about
It's a Facebook portal, Tom. It just came to me.
Yeah. Well,
So-
it's because you know why? It's the portal into our house is the way I look at
It's
it.
the portal into our lives, if you want to get philosophical, Tom.
That's what they're touting it as.
So here's the device. It looks like a tablet that stands on its own fancy schmancy stand, right? So you take it, put it in the kitchen, maybe it's in the dining room, and you want to have a conversation while you're making your pasta at night, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sure it's nice and quiet in the Craig household, right?
Keeping up with the family. It's so quiet. We need to get the in-laws in there. And
Oh, yeah. And then it's Tom, nonstop, just nag, 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 nag.
Well, I haven't spoken to my in-laws in weeks though.
How come?
It's hard to get an edge word in and in polite to interrupt them. So.
Oh, yeah. And folks, Tom was practicing that joke before we even started today.
Which is why it fell flat on its face.
Well, let's
Most
try it
of
again.
everything-
Let's try it again. I'll bite. Go ahead.
There you go. Tom, I haven't spoken to my in-laws in weeks. Did you know that?
Why is that, Tom?
Well, it's rude to interrupt, Tom.
Nailed it.
Yeah, a little bit too late, though. Story of my life. Day late, dollar shy,
Insert cricket noise here, Mike, the audio engineer, if you're listening. Anyway, so this new device,
The portal.
the portal, it comes into the house, and now you can talk to the in-laws on video. Wow. Can you imagine?
No, I can't. And on both reasons, on both sides. First, I don't want to see. Second off, I don't want them to see. It's hard enough to clean before they come over. Tom.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You're running around like a madman, vacuuming.
You've been given the honey-do list of things that have to be taken care of. And now you've got that honey-do list before every call on the portal.
Yeah, you got to clean toilets. You got to get grandma's lipstick off of the coffee cups.
So we might just have to keep a clean room for the portal. That's an idea.
I like that.
Yeah, just bring the portal right in there, have the nice facade.
It's all nice and clean.
Right? Kids are smiling, getting along.
Little air freshener in there.
See? Perfect.
One of those Glade stick-ups, maybe.
I think we found our next $1 million idea.
We're all up in that.
I tell you, because especially if the portal catches on.
I think it might catch on. It is a shiny new toy. I think it's about $250, $240, somewhere in that range. And it connects with, can you guess what app it really hangs its hat on, Tom?
Oh, please, just anything but the Facebook app or the Messenger. But
It is attached to the Facebook Messenger app.
Oh, man. And that's the one that I currently have an issue with putting on my phone for as intrusive as it is.
Yes.
Given the fact that we deal with client information on our devices, we choose not to put the Messenger on there because it would like to keep a trace of all the emails, messages, so on and so forth that we've done.
Right.
So the fact that they are going to take it one step further and bring a camera into the house, wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine? And a microphone that could be always on unless you opt to turn it off.
Yep. Let me guess. The default's probably going to be on
naturally.
To everything. Yep.
It does, to their defense, this device, the portal, does have a camera on and off, switch. So you can actually control that.
Yep.
Same with the audio, so you can actually turn that off as well. So here begs the question, Tom. You're at home, you get it delivered via the Prime. The UPS guy comes up, drops off. What can Brown do for you? And you take in the package. You open this sucker up. And if you're like me, man, you got to fire that sucker up within 4 minutes.
Immediately.
And so you do it.
Yeah.
And it's got that, hey, you better accept the terms and conditions, Tom. And you're just like, I don't have time for that. You're clicking that sucker and you're moving on. You know what you're missing?
What's that?
The devil is in the details, Tom.
Yeah, that is often is in the case, but what do they? What is in those details that's going to jump out at us?
Well, I haven't read them like most mails.
Okay.
But here is what you need to look out for. Anything about what happens with your data. Where does all that data go?
That's the $1 million question right there.
So if you leave that messenger on with a microphone and the video, and it just starts collecting stuff, where is that going? Who owns it? What can be done with it? Those are the really important things that you as a consumer, you as even your in-laws, need to be really cognizant of what's happening with that data. Where is it going?
Absolutely. And we can look back towards the Amazon Echo and what they recently went through when they had to reveal that they had been, released the recordings in a murder case. I don't know if you heard about
I do recall that. Yeah.
But the fact that they could go back and get that is just, it's amazing, because they always say, well, we're not listening when you don't want us to. It doesn't wake unless keywords are given.
Right.
But of course, yet they have the power to go back and review prior footage or audio recording.
Well, here's the thing too. How is it listening for when I say Alexa?
Yeah.
It's always got to be listening.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I'll challenge with you, Tom.
Okay.
If you're Amazon and you have all of these Alexas all over the planet,
Yes.
right? You got them in Kershplakistan.
The stands.
You've got them in all the stands. You got them in Milwaukee of all places.
Yeah. Well,
But think about all of the data that would be being recorded had all of these devices been listening the whole time. And that data would actually blow your mind if you started to think about how much that actually is.
absolutely.
So-
Even with compression and everything else to bring it to a smaller form, it's still just massive amounts of data.
Right. So, I mean, it would take a vault the size of your in-laws to actually, absorb and store all that data.
Yeah. Well, I've got nothing on that, Tom. After that last fail on the in-laws, I'm just going to steer clear of them on this one here. But
That's a wide berth you got to steer, Tom.
It is. But especially it's not just the Facebook portal. Amazon has their own solution, and there's quite a few different products out there that will be coming out and catching on as the holidays approach. But you're right. Who's watching all this data? Who's protecting it? And how can we make sure we're being protected? So that's really one of the big questions. And of course, one of my big, I'm a big advocate of putting them on the guest network over there with the in-laws.
Yeah. Keep
Same
them
trust
way
level.
over there, like on the West Wing.
We want to keep them in sight, but not out of touch.
You got to know what they're up to.
Exactly. Yep. So,
But yeah, you stick those suckers off of where any of the sensitive data could be coming in and out. If you're accessing your bank account, well, if you could, thanks SunTrust. So, but if you could access the data, you don't want those devices attached to that particular network strain, right?
Exactly. Because, there's questions already with Facebook and security and privacy. And now you want to put that device in your network, be it home or at work. Because there's a lot of small businesses that use these devices as well.
Right.
That we're seeing in more and more company president's office. But how many times do you want to put them, how many microphones do you want to put in your organization? Or how many cameras do you want to have in the conference room when perhaps the meeting that's going on that day wasn't supposed to be broadcast on Facebook Live and across the portal or whatever it is you're using. So it's really important that we make sure that A, we segment and keep this stuff separate, and B, the best thing, turn it off if you've got something critical going on. Just because of the fear of the microphone being turned on. If you've got sensitive conversations happening over proprietary information, you might want to think about removing that from the room.
Just unplug that sucker.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, Alexa can chill the heck out for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And it's always good to reboot technology anyway. As everybody has always heard the technicians say, have you tried rebooting? Because it always flushes out the cache and gets the new updates going. So it might just be a good thing to do anyway.
Yeah, and if you got a Microsoft product, just go ahead and throw that in the trash.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, especially after that October update. I'm sure there's lots of Windows 10 users out there who would be right behind you to do so,
Yeah.
Tom.
How's your My Documents folder working out for you, Tom?
Yeah, I tell you. Well, the good thing with me is I've got a good backup plan going, so I never have to worry about that. But we'll touch base on that on our next podcast.
Well, I think that's a great plug for Advanced System Solutions, Tom. Helping people keep their data secure, keeping those My Documents backed up. That's what you do.
I tell you. Well, we tried to warn everyone. We tried to be the person on the top of the mountain, yelling in September, "Watch out for that October update!" But
You can't say Tom didn't warn you.
It bit quite a few people.
Right in the hind,
I
in
tell
the
you.
buttocks.
Except you know who it didn't affect?
Who? Apple users.
Amen.
Hey,
Tom.
I like
Amen.
I like the
See?
sound of that.
I gave you that one.
So you did. You hurled that one up. So back to the microphones. I actually caught Keegan dancing and singing to Barry Manilow hits last week.
Is that what that post was?
It was great.
Oh,
just
okay.
knowing that he knew who Barry Manilow was, I was super impressed. So
Well,
maybe a concert later.
yeah. Well,
That'd be nice.
that would be good. I'd love to embed that on our podcast here if we can figure out a way to get that done.
That'd be a damn good time.
I tell you.
So listen, we talked a little bit about these devices that are probably going to be coming into the old house just when the fat man comes down the chimney. But there's also toys, Tom. Did you know about this? There's toys that are listening.
I did not. You
Yes.
know, most of the toys that I play with are still in the Rubik's Cube era. So
Sure.
So no,
Sure.
tell me about this.
Yeah, so I did a story. This was about 2 years ago, and it was one of these fads of one of these it looked like a cute fuzzy bear, and you put batteries in its butt, and it talks to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? It was also listening to you. So it was listening to kids, taking kids down, and the scary thing is that people learned how to hack it and talk to your kids.
Wow.
If that doesn't terrify you. So this program isn't all about keeping you
Sounds like-
scared. But this
Sounds like a possessed Teddy Ruxpin there, Tom.
right? I remember Teddy Ruxpin. He was possessed to begin with.
Yeah.
But we don't say this stuff to terrify you, but I think it's so critical that you as a consumer understand what the heck you're putting into your house. And I'm encouraging you to always question, if this thing has a microphone, if this thing has a camera, if it's attached to a big company, or you go online and register the product, to make it more personal.
Yeah.
You're putting your kid's name in there. Maybe you're putting your kid's birthday so it can
Great
say happy
point.
birthday. Well, look at all the data that company just collected.
And the more data they have in that little bundle, the
Yep.
more money they can get when they turn around to sell it.
Or they get hacked,
Yeah.
and someone uses that for nefarious purposes, Tom.
See, there's those people in the dark shades and
That's right.
wide-rimmed hat again.
That's right. So they can manifest themselves in something as innocent as an ugly-looking teddy bear with batteries in his butt.
Well, it's awfully scary how technology is doing that to us. Because as you said, Teddy Ruxpin was possessed enough, let
Yeah.
alone adding two-way communication to it and then hackable. Kids have to be pretty cautious out there, and parents even more so to make sure that
Yeah.
they're leading a good example.
And really, we were talking about those terms and conditions. You as a parent, I know no one wants to read through 62 pages of legal puke, but you've got to educate yourself about this stuff and what they're doing with that data, where it's going, where it lives, and what they can do with it.
I'm almost ashamed to admit, Tom, I'm the guy who hits Control A, Control C, and then pastes it into a document so I can review it later.
Right, but you're accepting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I accept first, read later.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
ready, shoot, aim.
Sure, that happens. Yeah. Speaking of in-laws and shooting, that wasn't a great segue, was it?
No, what
think your in-law
it
game is off.
Shooting with the camera.
Is there yeah?
know?
Well, there you go.
So-
That's what we
exactly.
meant. Yeah.
Absolutely. You hear that, Barbara? That's what I'm talking about. Shooting with the camera.
Right. You want to get the right angle. You want to go for get the right organs. Anyway.
But no, so these are interesting devices, and there are a lot of them, Tom.
Right.
The Amazon one and Facebook. So
And Google just came out with one this week as well. I forget the name of it.
a little subpar on there, as if I'm not mistaken, from what I heard.
In fact, I read that they omitted the camera, and I'm trying to figure out just what the heck the damn thing does. It's a square that sits on your table? I mean, I got a lot of those already.
Exactly. One right here on the other side.
It's hip to be square, Tom.
I tell you. So, story of my life, Tom.
Yeah.
Don't even have a place to go to from there. But
We could talk about the story of your life, Tom. Would you
yeah.
like to do that?
Well, that wouldn't take very much time.
It'd be a special episode indeed.
Yeah, well, special is a good word for
Maybe
it.
maybe Valentine's. Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, I think Halloween is probably the best time for the spookiness and scariness.
Right around the corner.
Let's just glaze over all that, and I think it's that time that we hit the mail sack. Tom.
I've dug deep into the mail sack today, Tom. I fumbled around in there a little bit.
Who do we have?
I grabbed onto a couple letters.
That's reached out to us today.
The mail sack.
Sam from Samsula. Now there's a mouthful.
Samsula.
Now, do you know where Samsula
I
is?
do not. I
If you're heading out, non-Central Florida people, if you're heading out towards New Smyrna Beach,
okay.
there is a tiny, quaint town off of one of those 44s or 46, one of those words.
Probably driven past it.
You have. There's a dump out there, Mount Trashmore.
Yeah.
But Sam writes in, he's been seriously considering getting an Amazon Alexa for the house, but wants to know, is there a best practice? Where should I put it?
Absolutely.
Well, Sam, I think the important thing here is that thing can probably hear you. It depends on how big your house is. Like I have one in the kitchen because I love to listen to my news. So as I'm cooking,
Ditto.
yeah, I'll call Alexa up and say, "Yo, give me the news." So I find that to be a good location. But I also have. Do I have three or I have two dots? So I have one in the bedroom and then one in my office. I use them as jukeboxes, basically. So Alexa's always cranking out my tunes.
Same here. Absolutely.
But, again, Sam, too, Tom mentioned this. The cool thing about Alexa is that there is like a mute button on the top. So you've got to remember that thing's always on. But if you go push that mute button, allegedly that microphone turns off. I can't prove it.
That's right. So when you have the boss over for dinner and you want to talk about that possible promotion and things that are going on in the company, perhaps you ought to mute that Alexa in the dining room.
Yeah, tell her to lock it up.
Yep. Or as you say, Tom, maybe just unplug it for the dinner.
Yeah, unplug her. She's cool.
Exactly.
I mean, she'll reboot pretty quickly. Tom, a very special feature and function that I've built into my Amazon Alexa.
Yes?
It's the fart app.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you can say, Alexa, pull my finger. And sure enough, she can rip them like the best of them. It keeps the kids amused, Tom. And that's really what's important in my household.
We have a different name for that in our household, which would be called the father-in-law.
Yeah. Does he have that machine gun fart where he's walking, the walking farts?
When I hear that joke start coming down the pike, I know it's time to vacate the area and head to the next room.
Yeah.
So,
can he can clear a room?
Sorry, kids, you're on your own on that one.
And Thanksgiving with the turkey farts are the worst.
No argument.
Yeah,
no argument.
And I love how they're sitting in the couch. They're laid back, lounging around, hands down his pants, rips one like, oops, like he didn't know that was coming.
See,
right?
At that point, I've always already found an excuse to go walk the dog.
Yeah.
But the problem is we don't have a dog, so half the time I'm busted on that one. But I can usually find a pretty good excuse to make my way out of the room at that point.
Oh my gosh, that's the stench and the fumes, Tom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's why we don't stick around, Tom. Run for the hills.
Run. And Sam, thanks so much for writing in from Samsula. And we hope your days with Alexa are fruitful. Treat her like the lady that she is.
Absolutely. And don't forget to segment her off of your network.
That's wise, Tom.
Absolutely. Yep.
As you knock into the table and the microphone.
I'm trying to do that to emphasize my point, Tom. It's awfully important that we don't allow these Internet of Things into the same network as our computers.
Right.
Just because of the fear, if you will, of our data being affected by an open door that could happen with any of these Internet of Things.
Well, hell, the damn in-laws had no problem with the open door, did they?
No, leave it wide open. What are we?
And we mean wide.
What are we, air conditioning the neighborhood?
Yeah,
here, Tom?
or farting it up.
One of the two.
Jeez. Listen, what a fun show, Tom.
It has been.
It's always fun, isn't
It's enlightening, and be careful out there with all these cameras, everyone.
Yeah.
It's it's a different day and age than when you and I grew up.
And let's turn those cameras off as I'm in my front yard this morning enjoying the 68 degrees.
Absolutely, but don't forget to turn them back on for that extension cord, Tom.
That's you damn right.
Look out, guys.
We need that
We're
surveillance
coming for you.
That's right. We will find you.
That's right.
You disrupted my whole kid's Halloween.
See, just wrong.
Tom, where can people find you?
We are at advancedsystemsolutions.com. yourself, Tom.
You can find me at ontargetdigitalmarketing.com, and we are pleased as punch that you joined us today. Tom, I'm getting pretty excited. Our listeners are responding, hearing from Sam in the mail sack today. We're getting listens. People are sharing the show.
I have to apologize for my jokes then on that note. I try to keep the humor in here, but it's more a lack of humor, I find.
I don't know about that, Tom.
Yeah?
I think you're very gifted.
Yeah, well, that's a very nice way to put it.
Gifted, something. But hey, folks, until next time, T Squared Tech Talk Podcast. It was so nice spending some time with you. Take care. Bye-bye.
This podcast was recorded at the On Target Podcasting Studio.